Thursday night football, we've got the Bengals at the Ravens. It could be a phenomenal game to bet on. I've got 3 picks. They're my best 3 bets. We're going to look at prize picks and the pick'em sites, and then we're going to put together a single game parlay. I love today's video, and I hope you do too. Let's go. All right, before I get to those 3 best bets, the single game parlay, and all the pick 'em plays, we're doing a transparency report, which you know I lead with the receipts, baby. NFL went 9-7. Small profit, but we cashed for the 7th week out of 9 for the season, 104-61 overall. Very happy with the outcome. College football went 6-2. All those bets are on games. NFL is all player props. 87-53 on the season. And we profited for our 7th week out of 10. NBA through 2 weeks, 9-7 in week 1, 16-8 last week, 25-15 overall. Starting off yesterday, you can see a few of the plays went 4-2 on Monday. If you kept track, that's a 30-16 VIP week. That's how you make profit with me. This is why my picket has been incredible now for years. Everything is publicly tracked. All my bets are posted inside my Discord. This is how you win money. Grab that link down below. It's $15 with the code and link provided. The last thing I want to say before we get to these 3 picks, listen, I do post single best bets on my YouTube. Those picks have gone 5-1 in the last 2 weeks. I also post lotto videos where I have 7-leg touchdown parlays. I'm sorry if those don't hit, but a plus 11,000 is a pretty high implied probability that it ain't gonna cash for you. Sometimes it's gonna get wrecked. One week I went 7-1. Another week I went 1-6. If you don't know the difference between a long odds lotto and my best bets, then I don't know if I'm the person for you. And I'm giving you my 3 best for Thursday night football right now. First up, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. The MVP chants are getting louder for the 2-time MVP, and then rightfully so. He's thrown for 289, 281, 323, and then 348 yards in his last 4 games. The 348-yard game was against Cincy. This same team is about to face this week. He went 26 for 42 for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns in what was an epic game. One of the best, if not the best game of the NFL season so far. Cincy's pass defense, when you look at how many yards they've allowed this season, they're middle of the road, 21st ranked defense in the NFL. That number's inflated. I actually think their pass D is horrendous. They have the 3rd worst sack rate in the NFL. That ain't good when you're facing Lamar Jackson. He's already hard to bring down. They've had inflated stats because they played against Gardner Minshew, Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, and Jacoby Brissett. 3 of those guys aren't even starters right now, and the other 2 don't deserve to be. Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. All 3 similar running and mobile quarterbacks who like to throw down the field, all cash the over with ease. I really like this play. I'm going to slide over to the passing yards market so we can go ahead and look at his live line. And there you go. You can see best odds 224.5 on ESPN Bet, but I'm going to be real. I saw this FanDuel line at 230.5 minus 114. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you if you're watching on mobile. And that line, I went to FanDuel and I did the alt line for 225 plus. I got it for minus 130. That is my best bet. Number 1 pick on the slate. I've got 2 more coming at you right now. Do me a huge favor. If you're new, like the video, like it, like it, like it. And then if you're new to the channel, my gosh, subscribe. I am here giving out goodies all the time and hopefully lining your pockets. Again, my best bets are on a 5-1 run right here on YouTube. Play number 2, let's look at Derrick Henry. I've got all his props up here, rushing touchdowns. I mean, literally just these odds are nuked. You can't touch these plays anymore, in my opinion. And I found a market I really like. It's his longest rushing yards. Let's take a look at his player card. Now I'm going to give you all the goodies you need to know. So he played against Cincy in that game. Of course, that massive shootout, 15 carries, 92 yards, and a tutty. In that game, he had a 51-yard rush against Cincinnati. Look at his player card. This is absolutely ridiculous. My guy has had a 20-plus yard run in 8 straight games. His north-only run style for the Ravens is perfection. That zone offensive scheme they run, the zone run blocking, is phenomenal. They give him a direction, he makes a cut, and he goes. To the tune of potentially the best running back season we've seen in the past 20 years. And who knows how it ends, but maybe of all time. The other part of this is they are favored. Baltimore is favored at home. Sometimes we get the second game of a divisional game, and it ends up being a little bit closer than expected, or it's a divisional defensive battle in that second game. I don't know if we're getting that. And even if we did, I don't think it bothers Derrick Henry. I think he's essentially, as long as they're not behind by 14 points in the late 3rd, 4th quarter or something like that, he's going to be on the field for a ton. And even then, down 2, they probably are still trying to get him the ball, a few more carries. And any given carry, he can bust loose. We've seen it all season. 75-yard touchdown runs against the Bills. He had an 81-yard scamper against the Chiefs that got tackled at like the 7 or 8-yard line. Thought he was gone. I'm telling you right now, Derrick Henry for the longest rush, 18.5 yards, just seems like a steal. I love this play. And I will say, the third pick coming up, I don't like as much as I like this play or the Lamar Jackson play. It's kind of like Lamar, then Derrick Henry right underneath, and then the next play is going to be a Zay Flowers play. He's like a totally different tier. He is one of my best bets, top 3 of the week for Thursday Night Football. But man, oh man, do I love the Derrick Henry angle and the Lamar Jackson angle. Now, this third pick that I'm about to get to, I'm going to be real with you. If we end up getting a defensive battle and it doesn't repeat that first game where it was 41-38, a barn burner, guys going up and down the field, making huge plays, well, then I think, honestly, all 3 plays potentially bust. So you have to understand, as we get to the parlay that I'm going to build for you next as well, if you're like, Mitch, I do not agree with these takes, you know what? You look at that game total, you slam the under, and you're going to make money, and all 3 of my picks likely lose. So, do what you want with it. This information is for you. It's me telling you what I'm doing personally with my betting picks and my money. I'm not telling you what you should do. This is me just saying, hey, here's what I'm betting on. All right, pick number 3. Let's go over here to the all markets. I'm going to leave them all up because I like to look at them all at the same time. Zay Flowers. There we go. All right. So you've got all these popped up here. Longest reception was an interesting one. 21.5 on FanDuel. I found it to be an interesting play. I ended up going down here to the receiving yards, and I posted it for members for FanDuel at 57.5. I actually posted that. Minus 114, 57.5 about 30 minutes ago around 9 a.m. inside Discord. And just so you know, because I'm always telling the truth, at 9:14 in the morning, that's when I did my alert. It is 9:35 a.m. right now. So 20 minutes later, and the line has moved by 2 yards. If you want any highlight of why it's important to take my plays from the VIP instead of waiting for them on YouTube, this stuff happens all the time. I find spots that are soft. We smash closing line value, and and Zay Flowers last 5 games has been all pro wide receiver-esque. He's racked up 127, 115, 132, and 111. He had that really weird game against Tampa. 1 target, 1 catch, 11 yards. He went off the field for a quarter, came back on. Maybe it just wasn't feeling it. I think Rashad Bateman blew up on that game, but the pendulum swung all the way back to Zay Flowers for the past 2 weeks. He went off against Cincy in that game as well, 7 catches for 111. And my friends, there's a lot to love here for Zay Flowers. Listen to this stat. I think the stat junkies are absolutely going to love this. And I'm going to do it off the top of my head because I thought it was so cool, and I just want to highlight this one. Full screen, ugly mug, in your face, velvety pipes coming out the mic into your ears right now. 10 wide receivers against the Bengals this year have had a 50.5 receiving yards prop or higher. Zay Flowers at 57.5 when I posted it, of course, is higher than 50.5. Out of those 10 wide receivers, 9 of them hit the over. That's insane. Do you remember the quarterback list I read off to you? Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson, Andy Dalton, Daniel Jones. These are not good quarterbacks. And still, 9 of the 10 wide receivers with a 50.5 or higher receiving yards line have all cashed. And now we get Zay Jones at 57.5, who's had 111 yards receiving or more in 4 out of his last 5 games. What? And this is my 3rd favorite pick out of the 3. What does that tell you about how much I love the first 2? And again, this is why I said just a few minutes ago that if you don't like these picks, just take the under and walk away. Because if these don't hit, then the under likely does not hit. Or the Bengals score 40 and the Ravens get absolutely shredded to pieces at home on Thursday Night Football. At which point, maybe the over hits, but all 3 of my Ravens props don't. I cannot see that coming to fruition. And if it does, I'm out. I lose my money, and I'm okay with that. You got to plant your flag in betting, and I've done so behind the Ravens offense in week 10 on Thursday Night Football at home. Now, I wanted to highlight the Pick'em Optimizer, so I'm going to bring it up on screen real quick, and we'll put a play or two in here. So I've gone to the Pick'em Optimizer. I'm going to the event in Cincinnati and Baltimore. It's all I care about right now. PrizePicks actually has 2 plays that are pretty decent. But this top play is going to be right here, Lamar Jackson. This is purely math-based, 19.5 completions on the sports books, juiced to the under at -133. PrizePicks leave it here as a fixed-priced site. So if you were to include this into a flex 5, you'd be in a good spot mathematically speaking. And I'm going to go over to the odds so you can see it. Here is the pass completions for Lamar Jackson. Again, 19.5, -132 to the under on FanDuel. -130 on DK, -135 on Caesars, and PrizePicks leaves it here at a 19.5. So again, this line is very good mathematically speaking. Trends-wise, we can take a look at it. Pass completions has been a bit up and down, but again, for a fixed price site like PrizePicks or for better, these sites you should not really be looking at stats and trends and data. It's all math-based. You want to grab 5 plays that are this type of odds and go from there. On Underdog, you could take Justin Tucker's kicker points over 7.5. Look, you got another -133 play. This is on Underdog. Let's slide over to the kicking points, and I'll show you all the odds. That's not Lamar Jackson. We need Justin Tucker. So type in TUC. There you go. He pops up, and here's the odds. So over DK, -130. BetMGM, -130. Caesars, -137. Flip, -140. So on and so forth. And then look at this. Of course, this is what happens on these fixed price sites. They bump these types of lines. And it got bumped to 8. Or on Sleeper, the implied odds based on their multipliers are -175. But here you go. On Better and on Underdog, if you include these in a pick 5, a flex 5, they are a very good math-based play. All right, I told you I was going to build out a single game parlay as well. Just do me a favor before I build this out. I've given away 3 best bets, my personal bets, the top 2 pick'em plays for PrizePicks and Underdog based on the MySquareEdge.com optimizer. And now I'm going to put together a little parlay just for fun. And if you're liking this video, show me, please. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and come back. Turn the notifications on. I do a mixture of live shows, videos that are longer, and then those NFL and NBA shorts. I cover it all right here on YouTube. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching. Let's make that parlay. I'm also going to suggest maybe wait until some of these sites have those promos that you can opt into and get a 50% boost on a single game parlay, whatever it might be. That's probably your best bet. So hang tight. This is more so to get the juices flowing. All right, first up, we're going to include Derrick Henry for an anytime touchdown. I mean, it's not like you even need me to bring up his player card for this, but it's been absolutely ridiculous. His rushing touchdown, he's had one in all but one game, and against Tampa in that game, shockingly, he ended up getting a receiving touchdown. So he has scored in 9 games for the Ravens. 9 played, 9 touchdowns. I expect nothing different against Cincinnati. Give me Derrick Henry for an anytime touchdown to start off the parlay. Going to go over to the passing props. Listen, I think you can have some fun with this. I want to get the juices flowing. Of course, you can take the 225 plus as the original line I had discussed at -130 earlier. The line is starting to move. As you can see, my Discord members are starting to push that line. But I think you can alt it if you want. If you're thinking maybe this is just going to be one of those games. Start climbing the ladder. 250, 275 plus. It's up to you. But I'm just going to slap this together to help you out. On the flip side of things, the Ravens have the second worst pass defense in the NFL. Everyone under the sun hits the over on their passing yards. I think Joe Burrow is in a good spot to do so as well. He just didn't end up as one of my top 3 best bets. I'm not saying he's not a good one, though. His 264.5 yards passing line was a pretty darn good one. Now, the line is quite high based on what you've seen for his trends. But if Higgins and Jamar Chase are both healthy in this game, there's a lot to love here, and I think he can smash the over as he did against the Ravens the first time they met each other. So with that being said, if we're building out a parlay, we could do something like Burrow 250 plus. Again, you could climb the ladder. Burrow 275 plus. It's whatever you want to do. We'll throw 250 in there to keep it simple, have some fun. I'm going to slap Derrick Henry 70 plus rushing yards in there. This is another angle we've been betting on here. I'm going to show you the rushing yards. I'm going to type in 70 on the optimizer, and you can see the player card. I mean, he's had 73 plus yards in 8 straight games, including 92 against the Bengals. I can't include his longest rush there on FanDuel in a parlay. So this is my pivot to add in these 70 plus yards just to make this go a little bit higher and try to get some longer odds. Going to go over to the receiving props next. I think there's a bunch of angles we can go here. We could grab the outright line here on Zay Flowers. We don't have lines for Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We're trying to figure out who's going to be active there for Cincinnati and what their health status is. So just to keep it simple real quick, I mean, we add Zay Flowers at 60 plus. We could go Zay at 50 plus, get a little alt line in there by all means. I don't care. I'm just trying to get the juices flowing, my friends. And just so I have a little coin on this one, I'll throw $5 on it. That way I can track it and sweat it out with you YouTube watchers in the community who follows me here. It's Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, Lamar Jackson 225, Joe Burrow 250 plus, Derrick Henry 70 plus rush, and then Zay Flowers 50 plus receiving yards. So again, if you don't think any of these top 3 plays, the pick'em plays that have Justin Tucker over 7.5 kicking points on underdog, or the under 19.5 pass completions for Lamar Jackson on PrizePicks, my 3 best bets that I had, or this parlay hit, I'm telling you right now, your best play is to go over to the total. And let me show you, we'll go to the game odds for NFL. I'm going to snag that total market right here. And there you go. You take the highest total you can and you grab that under, my friends, on Flip 53.5 minus 125. You could do 53 on Caesars minus 110. You know, you're taking off a half point for the total, but you're saving 15 cents on the odds. So you probably grab that 53 and you take the under minus 110. Again, if the under hits, none of my bets will hit. I'm probably a good shot. None of them would hit at least. You do what you feel comfortable with your money. You have to feel comfortable. You have to feel confident. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I was entertaining, provided you some information to help you go about your Thursday night betting. Again, 30-16 VIP last week. Profit in 7 of 9 NFL weeks. Profit in 7 of 10 college football weeks. Profit in 2 of 2 NBA weeks. All purely VIP picks. Grab that link down below. It's $15. And if you want the access to the optimizer tool you watched me use today, it's $10. Both those links are down below in the description and the pinned comment section. I'll see you tomorrow, though. I got more videos for you. So subscribe, like the video, and come back tomorrow, my friends. I got more, and I'll see you in Discord, hopefully. Say hello if you join up.